Hey guys, it's the end of 2022, and so I just wanted to make a video, kind of a recap of everything that has happened throughout the year. This is kind of an off-the-cuff kind of video, mostly from memory, so forgive me if I miss any stories or anything like that that may have happened. According to my wife, I don't have the best memory, so yeah, who knows. If you do have any comments or any news stories that I missed, leave them down in the description, and definitely let me know, or if you have any different opinions, let me know as well. Overall, the year was pretty strong for the e-bike market. Still strong sales, everything like that. There was a few things that have led to the downfall of sales, and a few things that have led to the increase of sales. So it kind of evened out, but still overall pretty strong. It was post-pandemic, so the e-bike market itself is softened up a little bit, it seems, and especially due to inflation and rising business costs and transportation costs that these e-bike companies have gone through. It's kind of seen less sales due to those, but because of gas prices raising up and people looking for alternative methods of transportation, ditch their cars for commuting and such, a lot more people were motivated to save up and to purchase an e-bike, even though the price of e-bikes themselves are going up. Most companies are raising the price. They raised the price in 2022, and it looks like a lot of companies are going to be raising them again in 2023, unfortunately. If you were looking into the folding e-bike market in 2022, it was still a pretty strong year, mostly due because of electric bikes. One of the high points of the year. Electric released 3 new e-bikes this year and totally refreshed pretty much all of their bikes that are currently on the market right now have been released this year, other than the older XP 2.0s that are still out there. The XP Lite was released at the beginning of the year for $799, kind of a lighter version of their XP 2.0. The X Premium was released also shortly after that, kind of their higher end, heavier, mid-drive motor, dual battery kind of e-bike. Not so portable, but still a good option if you like that pedal kind of mid-drive system. And then of course towards the end of the year, XP 3.0 was released by Electric, kind of refreshing their whole lineup with that one. Really nice bike, still in the same price range that the older XP 2.0s were, which is still surprising. I'm not sure how they're able to keep those prices so low, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, they also did release a long-range battery option too, which was kind of one of their main downfalls, is that they had a smaller battery for their folding e-bikes, but they released a 14 amp hour battery, which is real nice. If electric was a high point for 2022, I would say Rad Power Bikes was kind of a low point for 2022. They didn't have a lot going on this year. They released 2 major e-bikes, or one e-bike, one e-trike. They released the Rad Expand 5 earlier in the year, kind of a downgrade from their previous Rad Minis. They stripped a lot of the parts off of it to keep the price low, but then raised the price on it anyway to be more than what the Rad Mini was. So kind of negates that. They released the Rad Trike early in December, which is kind of a niche kind of bike, trike. So not a lot of people that I've seen have been clamoring for it. Rad said it was one of their most requested items, but then again, requested is one thing, but actually people buying it is another thing. Other than that, it's like I said, it's not been a great year for Rad. They've had multiple lawsuits, the Rad Wagon issues with the tires. They've had 3 different rounds of layoffs, which is terrible. It's quality issues with their batteries, tires, like I said, and also their controllers on some of their bikes. Has not been a strong year for Rad, so hopefully they'll be able to turn it around in 2023. I've heard from sources that they do have some new bikes in the mix. Who knows if they're just rehashes like with the Rad Runner 2, where they just upgraded the seat and put a new number on it, or if they're actually coming out with a new innovation kind of e-bike. So we'll see. It seems because Rad Power Bikes, the largest e-bike manufacturer in North America, has kind of pulled back with their troubles. A lot of other e-bike companies have kind of filled in the gaps. And so a lot of companies like Ride One Up, Velotric, Electric, of course, like I mentioned before, Electric Bike Co., a lot of these lesser known companies were able to grow their market share and to kind of become more of a presence in the market. So that's been real great for 2022. Hopefully that'll continue, and we'll have more of a even distribution of e-bikes instead of just seeing only Rad Power Bikes out on the road, which is, in my area, that's usually what I see. 9 times out of 10, it's a Rad, and then the other times it's electric or something like that. But good thing to see. More competition is always better. More innovation is always a good thing. Another company that I haven't seen a lot come in from in 2022 was Super 73, which is odd because they had a strong showing of all these new e-bikes that they're releasing, but it seems like most of them were just kind of aesthetic updates to their existing models, like the Mojave, Brooklyn, and the Malibu, kind of upgrades to their overall look, but no new bikes coming out. They announced their child e-bike, their little kid e-bike that doesn't have any pedals and, you know, kind of gets kids in the market, but kind of like the Rad Trike, that's kind of a niche kind of thing. I don't think I'll be seeing a lot of those on the road. It kind of seems like they shifted focus away from e-bikes over to the C1X. Some news, not a ton of news, but some news coming out of there about the updates and, you know, design choices on those. But that's still way in the development phase, so who knows when that's actually going to be coming out. Like I said, with Super 73, kind of pulled back in 2022. For example, I watch LA Eastgate or a lot of group ride-alongs for e-bikes. Everybody was riding Super 73s or wanting the Super 73s. Everybody's clamoring for Super 73s or Onyxes. Now it seems like everybody wants Surons. Super 73 kind of, they've been still kind of sitting there with not a lot of like performance updates, still using the same geared hub motor, not a lot of speed, which I think is a lot of people are shifting away from just your slower. There's still 30 miles per hour. Slower e-bikes to like something that Suron can do, which is like, you know, 45 to 50 miles per hour. So I think a lot of people are going that route. To piggyback on top of that, the Lyric Cycles is coming out next year with their new, what's it called? Graffiti, which is kind of a Super 73 competitor. It's cheaper, it's better components, or at least faster components, and the option to upgrade to a second battery for even cheaper than what the Super 73 is costing. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do next year. There's still a huge market for customization and everything like that for Super 73s, which is, I think they still have a strong community in that respects, but unless they do something, I think they're kind of going to be losing more and more market share coming up next year. Speaking of the Suron, 2022 has been a big year for Suron. A lot of people clamoring to get them. A lot of on YouTube or other forums looking to buy Surons or wanting to buy Surons. The price is still pretty in the reasonable range, you know, about $4,500 for essentially an electric dirt bike. It's one of those things that I have mixed emotions on. I kind of like Surons, but then I kind of don't. I want one myself, but then I feel like I'd ride it responsibly. But the problem is I think there's a lot of people out there that won't ride them responsibly. So it's kind of one of those things of, it's a good thing for e-bikes in general, but it also can be a downfall. You know, for as many people out there that are going to be riding in them legally off-road or, you know, legally in ice, there's still going to be people that are doing wheelies in the middle of the street or middle in the freeway, anything like that. So it's kind of one of those things that they can easily be abused by people, and if they're abused, they're gonna be targeted by lawmakers and law enforcement. So I think more and more crackdowns on Surons or higher powered non-pedaled e-bikes are going to be in the future. Hopefully more people will see the problem and ride more responsibly, but knowing people, probably not. Another weird news story that came out in 2022 was the problem with a rental scooter or rental e-bike business. There were several news reports that I remember that were companies that kind of went out of business that were running these rental scooters in certain metropolitan cities, and they just kind of went out of business and left their scooters sitting on the side of the road. If they're not being used, they're locked out or the software locks them out. So it's not like you could even use it after the company's left. And so they just have all these broken, essentially just junk laying on the side of the road, which is kind of one of those weird things I think might be continuing on. From what I hear, there's not a lot of money in the rental e-bike or e-scooter market. They actually lose money because of all the damages and repairs that they have to do to these lower cost kind of disposable scooters. I can't remember where hearing that, but that's what I've heard, is they don't actually make a ton of money off of them. They actually lose money by doing these businesses, and they're trying to kind of even out in the long run. Bolt Mobility is one of the ones that I've heard of that kind of went out of business, just essentially just went out of the city and left all their stuff behind. It's going to be a lot of weird news stories in the future if this continues, but we'll see. Looking ahead to 2023, it's going to be one of those weird years for e-bikes. I don't expect a lot of shrinking or growing in the e-bike markets. Unfortunately, a lot of prices are going to be going up, it seems. Rad has already announced that they're going to be raising prices in 2023. I know Super 73 they announced that they're going to be raising the prices dramatically. I think like $400 to $300 for their bikes in 2023. So unfortunately, it looks like they're going to be a lot of price hikes like we saw at the beginning of 2022, at the beginning of 2023. Hopefully there's going to be more of these local government and state governments e-bike rebates, and so more incentive for people to ditch their cars or just to use them for, transportation. I know Denver did that last year, and it seems like a lot more places are going to be doing that, so that's good to see. Another thing that I'm looking forward to in 2023 is Lyric Cycles. Like I mentioned before, they're coming out with the Lyric Graffiti, which is kind of a Super 73 competitor, and also they're coming out with a Onyx competitor, which is the Lyric Voodoo. Both high-powered e-bikes, one more high-powered than the other, obviously. But it's nice to see that there's going to be more of a competitor to the Super 73. Maybe they're going to, mix things up and to put bigger motors or to change theirs. But it's still really nice to see that something's coming out to provide people, that kind of market, and Super 73 hasn't been doing it. Anything that's more than the geared hub motor of 1200 watt that the Super 73 comes with. Apparently the Lyric Graffiti is going to be shipping around the end of January, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm still looking forward to it. Another prediction that is not really too much of a prediction, but just probably, most people have seen it. I think more people are going to be going towards utility and cargo e-bikes. It'll be more and more popular for car replacements. 9 times out of 10, when I see somebody looking for a new e-bike, it's usually a utility e-bike like a Rad Runner, Rad Wagon. There's going to be, I think, a lot more people using them for car replacements like the Turns, the Blix bikes, Himbeaway Big Dog, and I'd even say the XP 3.0. I would categorize that as a utility e-bike just because of the bigger rear rack capacity, 150 pounds. And so I think half the time I see now when I see e-bikes on the road, they're utility e-bikes, people running to the store, running back, kind of running their kids to school sort of thing. And so I think that's going to continue in the new year. Some updates just for my channel, for Electric Rides channel. It's been snowing like crazy this year. I think much more snow than we've had this year than the last few years that we've had combined. And so I haven't had a lot of time to get out and ride. So hopefully that'll let up. Hopefully not, because we need the snow. But hopefully I'll be able to get out there. I have some old videos that I'm releasing from back in April and earlier this year so if you see any new ride videos that I've had, everything's green and everything like that, it's probably because it's an older video. I got a pet trailer for Christmas. My family bought me that, so hopefully I'll have some rides with the pets in the future. And because I've got the Rad Expand 5, maybe some mountain bike rides, not mountain bike. So hopefully we'll be able to get out there and do some long range rides. Really looking forward to 2023 and seeing what we just have in store. Like I said, a lot of things that are in the works, and hopefully I'm getting a new camera soon. So a new higher quality action camera. So hopefully the footage will be a little bit better. And I appreciate everybody who's stuck with me and supported the channel, and definitely appreciate it. And looking forward to 2023, and glad everybody's going to be there too. Thanks. Bye.